Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
And a good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the Hangout, the final Hangout of 2024, presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. You could check them out to find a location nearest you to get that storage unit for yourself. Sentinel.ca. They've got snowy savings. First 4 weeks free plus free cancellation. That's at Sentinel Storage. Matt Iwanyk with you here today. And I've never done this before on the Hangout, so I'm very much looking forward to this today. It's a nasty Hangout, a nasty New Year. I'm surrounded by Nasties. We got X-Ray J, we got Jordy Mack, and we got Garyn. I'm going with Garyn from the Combine
That
crew.
works.
That works?
That works, yeah.
We've got Garyn from the Combine crew with us here. So thank you all for coming in. Really appreciate
Thanks
this.
for having us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
This is going to be a good one. Are you guys all like, are any of you big into New Year's, big plans for New Year's or anything like that?
Watch the Oiler game, and that's about it for me. But
Not normally. I think I'm going to.
sorry.
I'm going to like Leopold's Tavern for dinner tonight. So never been there. Hopefully it'll be good.
I've never been there.
I've been smoking a brisket for...
Sorry, you're smoking a brisket, but before the show, I had it run out where you tell me the story about the brisket.
Yeah, so I've got one of those Acu temp thermometer gauges, sends an alert to your phone when your temperature starts to drop. And it went off about 4:47 this morning, and had to get up and put the house coat on, head outside in the snow and the wind, and look down at my brisket, and my charcoal's empty. Burnt through. Tried to relight, wasn't working. So it is currently in my oven, non-convection.
So like you can't just like it's like you're just out of charcoal, or because I've never smoked anything. I don't know if you guys smoke anything.
I tried to relight it, and I'm guessing the ash had gone over the igniter, and so it wouldn't relight, and didn't want to fight with it in the snow and the wind. So into the oven it went.
Norm does all the smoking at the Combine crew house. No one.
I would
else,
imagine.
Yeah, no one else touches that.
He doesn't teach you guys the secrets or anything, or he keeps that all to himself?
All to himself.
Really?
Yeah, man of mysteries he is.
Have you guys tried to learn?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that might be a reason too.
That might be partially it, but no. He does all the smoking at the Combine crew house.
I'd imagine. Like he was, we couldn't get it done, but he was going to possibly come to our tailgate this year, and I think do burgers or something like that, or he wanted to smoke something even too. There's just something about smoked meat that is just, it's the best.
My house smells spectacular. My wife's probably not thinking the same thing.
It's spectacular because it's in the oven?
Because it's in the oven, so you get that smoky, meaty caramelization thing going on.
Oh,
when
you're cooking something and it just gets the whole house smelling like it, but it's something that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just nothing like it.
Now I just got to figure out what I'm going to do for sides.
Do you eat sides? Just eat a bunch of brisket. Just meat sweats all night. Are you a cooker, Jordy, at all?
No, I'm just became a teenager this year, so no,
you can still try to get in the kitchen.
The closest thing I think I've had probably smoked brisket once in my life. Not even. I know that I went to the new Chipotle in Edmonton. They actually had, it was really good. It was a limited time of smoked brisket, hand chopped all in there. You put it in a bowl. It's actually really good, surprisingly.
So the key is to learn how to do it.
Yeah, that's really
X-Ray can help you learn how to do that stuff.
I was walking my 14-year-old daughter, trimmed up our brisket this year. So she's learning the ropes of the smoker.
How long would that brisket have taken you if it was fully in the smoker?
Yeah, so I was looking for 12 to 14 hours.
Jeez.
I got 7 in a bit.
And so now how long is it gonna take in the oven? Like, how much of a difference? Is it about the same still?
About the same, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's all goes that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to impart enough smoke to this point, my hope is. And tastes delicious. Wagyu Alberta beef.
That just sounds absolutely wonderful. Yeah. I want to. That's a great way to celebrate the new year.
I was hoping that it would be ready to rock, cut off a piece, bring it in so we could all try some, but didn't quite work out that way.
It is all good. Where do you guys want to start? Do you guys want to go into Oilers or do you guys want to talk some World Juniors?
Doesn't matter to me. Whatever they want to do.
I think
I'll say Oilers.
you want to get into the Oilers. Okay. Are you worried about this past weekend?
Oh my God.
That sounds like a yes.
Yes and no.
That sounds the way you're moving your hands there. It sounds like immediately like, yep, you're worried.
It's hard to explain because I don't know. Everybody says they weren't playing as good against LA. They played hard, but at the same time, LA has been on a heater. They've been doing very well. The Oilers were also on a heater though, but it's that week break that the Oilers when they're doing very well, they're winning games. I think they only lost 3 out of 16 or something. And we even saw this happen last season. When they get that week or two break, it does not go well for the Oilers.
Correct me if I'm not wrong. Both teams had a break, right?
Everybody had a break.
So why does LA come out of the break so much
I don't know.
they're
so much more inspired?
Because they're home?
Yeah.
The Oilers didn't have to make sure, the Oilers had to travel. That maybe plays into it. I'd have to go see, when did the Kings play prior to that?
And also,
I'm looking right now.
The Oilers, I don't know, we've always seen it happen where as soon as a break happens, they're like, oh, all their momentum out the window.
So
and
who's that on?
We don't know what happened. It's on the
players?
You know what? It's a good question. If that is a thing, I'll just go into the bigger picture here and go, if a break is always an issue, that has been an issue for a long time. And I don't know who that's on because coaches have changed. For the most part, players have changed. The only people that would be the consistent would be the top core. And I don't know if anyone's here wanting to be blaming Connor or Leon for that. And I don't know why they would be the cause of that. Sometimes teams just have those weird things that have them. Like the Buffalo Bills can't win football games when it matters.
And
that's their DNA. Maybe the Oilers' DNA is they just can't come out of breaks properly.
Party hard and crawl out of the gutter when the break's over, I guess. But that's my thing. I do think it is a coaching issue. Because, like you say, it's multiple coaches now. But I think that when you get a coaching job in Edmonton, you've got 2 of the world's greatest hockey players at your disposal. And I think it makes their job easier.
I don't think it's a coaching issue. Because we've seen this happen with every single coach. How is it a coaching issue if it's the same players, different coach? So you keep changing that, nothing happens. So it can't be on the coach.
The coach's job is to motivate.
It's
a lot of players say it's on the players. Like Strati, I know has talked about it quite a bit in the past. I'd have to ask Adrian himself. I don't. They say it's actually the players shouldn't need motivation to get motivated. The players should be able to do that themselves.
I also think it's on the players because it's the variable. You got the manipulated variable there. The coach is the manipulated one. Players stay the same. Everything else stays the same. It's the coaching that changes, but nothing different happens. So I really don't think it's a coaching issue. I really think it's the players are like, oh, well, we're on this win streak. Let's just expect to win again. We've beat LA so many times. Same thing with Anaheim. They're, for lack of a better term, a crap team. And they're like, oh, we're just going to walk right through them. No. And it's even against San Jose when they lost to them last season. It's, oh, well, we're just going to beat them because we're better. No, you still got to work. It's not just, you're not just going to get wins automatically. It's not like you're prime Roman Reigns going against a jobber. You're you got to actually try. You can't just walk in there and be like, oh, we're going to win. The other team's going to outwork you and beat you at the end of the day.
I think a part of the reason I think they're not, like you said, they're not very physical. They got to drag themselves into games sometimes, and without Evander Kane here, who lots of times pulls them into games without giving guys the option. Perry does it. We've seen him in the start of the year go out and fight someone at the start of the game when it's not going right along those lines. Like Big Uke here says in the Nasty chat, it might be an organizational curse. the start of games after breaks. I don't know. I don't think it's a coaching issue per se, personally. But I do think Evander Kane, not having him right now affects that. Like, he's one that drags players into the fight.
He just has to go lay that 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah.
Or somebody. I shouldn't even say Evander Kane. Somebody needs to go lay the 1 or 2 hits, and it can bring the energy. We saw it with Zach Cassie in the past, too. And no one's going and doing that right now.
No.
Emerson had more than half their hits on Sunday. He had 5 in the whole. They had 8 in total. Like, that's crazy.
It's sad,
nuts.
and I mean, you've got an opportunity as an organization to do something that hasn't been done in Canada in 31 years.
93.
Yeah.
I'm 33. So next year will be 30. So it'll be 32 years next year.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, these players just aren't putting everything into the opportunity. Heinrich, Derek Ryan, I think is Derek Ryan. You're going to get what he's able to give you. But Perry's been good. Perry should be the one dragging him into the fight. So should Darnell Nurse. When you look at the early season debacle that was the Oilers season, you saw that physicality motivated this team. What was it? The first 6 fights all came
One every
6
game,
wins.
yeah.
And it boggles my mind that this team can't recognize the opportunity at their feet.
I'm not saying they're taking my attitude, but my attitude for this season is the season doesn't matter. I don't care about the regular season. I've said that for a couple of seasons.
I agree.
It's about playoff. We're not going to look back on the 24-25 Edmonton Oilers and go, man, that game against LA really, what a tough one. Like, we don't care. We're going to judge them based on their playoff success. And we look back at last season. The only thing we say is about the regular season is, imagine if they had home ice. Mm-hmm. But we don't go to specific moments or anything like that.
Is Game 7 different?
Is Game 7 different? But at the same time, if the Oilers have home ice in Games 1 and 2, I'm a butterfly effect type person. Maybe do they win those? But then how did there's so many other variables to that. You can't just take away one game for it. But in the end, it's like we judge the team based on the playoffs. And that's where I think we're going to judge the team based on playoffs. So maybe they're just reserving their energy and all of that for playoffs. Maybe when it matters, that's when they're saving it for. Because they're good enough to be in the playoffs. Yeah. And they've shown it. Bad start to the season, but look where they are right now. They're sitting in playoff spots. And I don't think anyone is sitting here going, well, if things don't get going, they're going to fall out. But they're going to be in the playoffs. So maybe they're just saving themselves for that.
But, I mean, you're an injury away from not having that
fair
guarantee. And I believe Connor can lead this team to anything he wants. The problem isn't Connor. The problem isn't Leon. The problem is the Henriques, the Perrys, the ones that are supposed to lead that second wave. For whatever reason, is it deferring? Well, just hang on. Connor will get us. Because it's so frustrating. These guys, Henrique had a brilliant season last year. Where is he this year? Everyone's going on about Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner's outscoring Henrique, Perry, Arvidsson. Why are you signaling out a guy that at least is putting points on the board? Is he great defensively? No, he's not. He never has been. But he's also captain Team Canada and World Hockey Championships. He knows how to play the game. Again, Knobloch, it's got a hate on for him. He's like, you're not going to play the game the way I want you to play, then you're going to watch the game from the press box.
At the end of the day, it's not about point scoring for this team. Your top 6 are going to do the point scoring. That power play is going to score. It's about who works the hardest, in my opinion. I think that when you have, if you're working hard, you're going to win. I've played multiple sports. I played soccer, and when there was, even me, I didn't work as hard. We didn't win. But now that I see the team my dad coaches that team still. Now that I see them play, they've won 2 provincial gold medals now, because that team is working. They want it, and I think that's what the Oilers need. They need to work, and that's why Jeff Skinner's not in the lineup. He's not working. He's not playing that Oiler game, and at the same time, like, everybody's acting like this guy's a $5 million player. We signed him to pretty much league minimum.
Well, $3 million.
It's not league.
$3 million.
And that's what it feels like to me at this point.
That's Holloway money right there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I just think that if you're not gonna play for your worth, you shouldn't be in the lineup. If you have a $3 million contract, it's originally $9 million, retained some money from Buffalo. I think that if you're not gonna play like a $3 million player, you're gonna sit. If you're not gonna work as hard as you should be.
The Oilers don't have enough players in Bakersfield for the players that aren't playing. You know, Henrique drives me insane. Like, I keep coming back to him because it's like, what have you done? You know, he was dominant in the playoffs. He played a role. He was in on forechecks. He provided that secondary push offensively. And this year it's just like he's going through the motions, and it's hard to watch.
Yeah, back to on Skinner. I think an issue with him too is he likes to play with the puck, and playing with Leon and Connor, you're not the primary puck carrier.
In the 8 minutes he's played with them,
I don't know.
15 games. Half the season.
He did not get 15 games.
At least 10. He got that at least 10 game mark, because he was starting line earlier in the season with Leon Draisaitl. Started multiple games.
I missed that.
He started multiple games during McDavid's injury with Draisaitl, and
but again, Knobloch's doesn't see him skate back hard on the back check, and
that's what the Oilers need right now, though.
End of the bench.
I agree with Knobloch's decision, because that's what the Oilers need. We have, for lack of a better term, crappy defense. We have Bouchard, who's not himself this season. Ekholm, he's Ekholm. He's probably our best defensive defenseman right now. Nurse, who, in my opinion, he's been doing well this season.
Yeah.
I like Darnell Nurse this season. And then you have a guy like Ty Emerson. Love him, but he's
developing.
He's still developing. Brett Kulak, love him to death, but he's not a second pairing defenseman. He's a third pairing defenseman at the end of the day.
I think he's played like a second pairing defenseman this year.
Yeah,
that
fair.
pairing of him and Nurse is
And
second
I
pairing.
do like that.
Hockey, more so than any sport, I find, is about the opportunity. When you've got the opportunity to, you see it where, for years here in Edmonton, first overall picks, first round picks into the fire, and they were overwhelmed with the opportunity. You look at Holloway and Broberg last year. They ate crow most of the season down in the minors, and when the opportunity presented itself in the playoffs, both of them seized it. And you're seeing it again now in St. Louis. The opportunity's there, and they're seizing the opportunity. But if the players don't seize the opportunity,
100%. That's what I think's happening with Jeff Skinner. He's and if you look at a guy like Kasperi Kapanen, it's not like they're scratching Skinner for no reason. Man, like, hey, you're sucking right now, so you're just gonna be scratched, and we're gonna call up a guy from Bakersfield. No, they got Kasperi Kapanen to fill Arvidsson's spot while he was injured, and he was playing well. He's playing very well right now, and I think
he didn't play either of those games, did he?
Kapanen? Yeah, he played both.
he played both because Jeff Skinner was out.
Yeah, Ryan and Skinner were out.
So I think that Kapanen's, at the end of the day, he's making less money than Jeff Skinner, and he is outscoring Jeff Skinner.
Kapanen? No, he's
He
11th in points.
Jeff Skinner's
7th.
Yeah, but if you look at it, Jeff Skinner's played 30 games or whatever.
35.
Yeah, if you look at the
35
points
games,
per
and
game
Kapanen's
metric,
played
Kapanen's probably
like
ahead of him.
10, 15 games or something.
So in terms of playing together, Jeff Skinner has played a combined 5 minutes with Leon and Connor at the same time, 5v5. It was a total of 3 shifts. He's played 45 minutes and 30 seconds with Connor McDavid without Leon Draisaitl, 5v5. And he's played 56 minutes, 46 seconds with Leon and no Connor McDavid on the ice at 5v5. So if you look at like with Leon, in terms of face-offs, they've been on the ice together for about 41 face-offs together. With Connor, if I'm doing some quick math together, 27, 33 face-offs, and then 3 combined. So I think somewhere in the middle, if I could do my math between what we're all saying here.
Yeah. Wow.
When it comes to Skinner,
I didn't think
and
he was
that
even
according to
presented
Natural
that
Centric.
opportunity. Wow.
But then now that changes mid-game, right? Like face-off, like that you get 3 face-offs in one game because lines change so quickly. Going into this game, he might not have been there, but at some point during the game, Knobloch's made that switch because now hockey's very much
1,000%.
mix things up and all of that.
I had Jeff Skinner touted as I had him touted to score at least 30 goals this season.
Skinner?
That was the hope.
That's what I thought that he was going to do because he had a comeback season in Buffalo last year. I'll say that. He had not done well before, but I don't know. My opinion is why sign a guy to a $3 million contract for a playoff team in the playoffs that has had 0 playoff experience in his career?
Well, I think we were all pretty happy when they announced that they signed him, though.
1,000%. But
I think all of Canada threw a party.
It's hard to go and rip on Jeff Jackson for that move when everyone
I was
agreed
happy with
to
it. When
it's like I the only thing I was skeptical of, I never liked the idea of just somebody who's bought out for a reason. Now the only difference is it was Buffalo buying him out. And looking at Buffalo, it's not exactly they're not the best always, but that's the one that it's hard to rip on Jeff Jackson fully for that move entirely. The thing I'll rip him for on that move is the no move clause part of it. I understand it though, because if you're Jeff Skinner and you're in a show me year, you probably also just like, I want some sort of control of where I go. But now look where the Oilers are.
at the end of the day, it's also a 1-year contract, though.
It is, but to me, if it was a no trade clause as opposed to a no move clause, could have helped out the Oilers a little bit more. But I also understand why Jeff Skinner would be sitting there going, no, I want the no move.
He'd look great in Baco.
You could give him
and get that offensive touch back because he's got it. He's always had the offensive ability. He's failing the opportunity presented to him.
Well, and I don't think it helped either in preseason that Knobloch didn't play Arvidsson, Skinner, and Draisaitl together at all until I think it was the last game of the preseason when they were rolling through other players. Savoy, I think, got a couple games. I'd have to go back and look, but I know they went to that line right at the end of the preseason, and there wasn't much opportunity for them to build anything. And he has been on a pretty short leash. Obviously, Draisaitl, it seems, likes to play with Podkolzin, though. I think there's something to that, more so than the coach playing there, because he hasn't really produced. So Leon must like that guy to go dig out pucks in the corners and plays physical, gets the puck to Leon. As soon as it touches his stick, he's looking for Leon there. And
Wicked shot on him.
Yeah.
Dude's got a wicked shot. Podkolzin.
And he was a first-round pick on the top 10 or top 12 or whatever a couple years back. So there was a reason for that, too. Maybe there's something there. And Arvidsson seems a little buzzsaw. He's been hurt.
Coming around, though.
Yeah, I think there's something there.
Yeah.
I think there's something there with him, too.
But one thing I will say is that we saw this exact same Jeff Skinner situation with Connor Brown last year. Exactly.
The only thing different, Skinner coming off of a buyout, Brown coming off of an injury. That would be the only that would be beyond that. You were right.
And you never questioned Connor Brown's compete last year. No. You questioned his cement hands, but you didn't question his compete. You can make the argument that Skinner is not competing.
But I understand the similarities of like a guy coming to a new environment.
You think
rough start?
They gave him what? I think it was a $1 million bonus or a couple $1 million bonus after 10
for
games.
Connor Brown.
It was that 10 game.
I
think it was a $3 million.
So
because I called it the hit. Yeah,
for
I called it the penalty.
There was a guy if he hit 10 games, $3 million.
That
Jeff
was
Skinner's
that was
he's
the
making $3 million
silliest.
here. He's being healthy scratched. Connor Brown's being healthy scratched. But now Connor Brown, 2/3 of the way through the season, all of a sudden scores. People love him. And now everybody loves him. And he was also on that 1-year prove me deal. Prove your worth to this team. I think that Jeff Skinner could bounce back like that. Because I don't know if it's anything with the Oilers, there's been multiple guys that have bounced back like this. Evander Kane went from he had a lot of baggage.
He had baggage, but he like from the day one with the Oilers, he has produced.
He
That
scored
was
game
the
1 in Montreal. I
And-
remember that.
On ice, he has
Yeah.
produced since day one for the Edmonton Oilers.
And
I have
he-
my criticism of Vander Kane for other things that people at 1260 know all that.
Exactly.
But on ice, like you can't question what he has generally done from that start.
And he didn't play for a year and a half or whatever, or half a year, and then comes back and it looks like he hasn't lost a beat. So I don't know. I just think that something might happen with Skinner, and he might become that guy. Like, hey, Connor Brown, we love you now. You'll take league min because
It only takes that one goal in the playoffs to
Yeah.
Oh,
become
change
a hero in Edmonton.
everything. Who was the?
I was at that game with the Capitals. I was at that game, and it went from people hating Connor Brown to be like, "Oh my God, he scored!" And there was Connor
The
Brown
whole
chants
arena
echoing
stands
through the
up and
arena.
cheers.
Was
yeah.
it David Desharnais was the guy who scored the OT winner?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was, like that was. We still remember David Desharnais. I think it was, like because he went and he scored that goal, and it takes that very little bit to change it.
Just love that name.
I will say though with Jeff Skinner, like somebody brought it up during the morning show yesterday in the Nasty chat. I think maybe it was the Nasty chat. Jimbo maybe it was, or there was somebody else. And I forgot about it, but there was a clip from one of those Oilers shows from the past, summer when they were evaluating players to go for agency, and it didn't seem like Chris Knoblauch, like he spoke out against the player, and everyone immediately was like, "That's Jeff Skinner."
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
I wonder if there is something there to that where it's just Chris Knoblauch doesn't see this guy as a guy that fits
His
what
system.
he wants.
Yeah.
And Dusty made a great point on Twitter yesterday where he quote tweeted Stauffer posting the Oilers lines, and went after that performance in Anaheim, Jeff Skinner's still a healthy scratch. That tells you that
Yeah, I saw
he's
that
in a
tweet.
doghouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, there's
He's been
something
in the
there's
doghouse.
something there.
Yeah.
And I think last year was the playoffs. McLeod got the benching.
Yeah.
Was back the next game though. Knoblauch generally doesn't go multiple games in
Yeah.
that sense. I know some people like Stuart Skinner. He was out for game 4, then game 5, but Calvin Pickard won, and goaltending's a little bit different there. I think there's something right now to be seen.
I'll give that to Knobs.
Is there something between Knoblauch and Skinner that I'm not saying that he doesn't like the person, but in terms of the style of player or whatever, that Knoblauch just doesn't want on his team as much?
Well, yeah, and especially if he's not playing in the top 6, right? Like last year too, we're talking about Connor Brown. Knoblauch had that relationship with him, coaching him in Erie, so he had trust for him. I think he was a captain in Erie even for Knoblauch. So there's obviously some trust there to help him play through it, coming off of an ACL injury. Like, I don't know, last thing I'll say on Skinner, but if you're gonna play in the bottom 6, you've got to have other dimensions. Like Berkey used to say, you need truculence. You need some physicality.
Sean's was in the Nasty chat yelling earlier, truculence.
Like you need some physicality, and we don't have that. We've got Perry right now, and that's not enough. You're
And I
getting
think Perry's getting a little sore.
Yeah, like the Kings leaned on us the whole game, right?
Yeah.
Byfield, Fogle, we couldn't do nothing against them. They'd get in on the forecheck, losing the puck battles in the corner, taking the puck to the net. Like Byfield scored that one goal. I think it was a goal to tie it 3-3 where he came out of the corner, ripped her top shelf, right? Won a puck battle.
No compete.
No, and I think they've got to address that too. They've got to swap out a couple guys in the bottom 6.
I think it was Stetcher turned the other way.
And I'm not a huge Troy Stetcher fan. I think he's got to go too. I don't see a 5'10" D man in the playoffs that doesn't play physical and isn't a superstar puck mover being an asset. And I think that'll come too. They'll replace him here before the deadline or bring someone in. Yeah.
There will be a defenseman coming to the Edmonton Oilers.
What if there's not? Like, I mean, I don't have a whole lot. Like, when I look back at Stan Bowman's past, I see him get rid of Bufflin and you know, he was handed a
100%. But he had Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook, right? So he had a defense that he could rely on.
Is that window not extended with Dustin Bufflin in the lineup? Like,
I'd have to go back to that whole history.
We're talking about Chicago?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
Bufflin not a forward in Chicago?
He was.
he played both.
No, not in Chicago. He switched to defense in Winnipeg, if I'm correct.
But the thing is, like, I think Stan Bowman would understand that, like, he doesn't have a lot of bullets to fire at the deadline. It would have to be defense, because Jeff Jackson went and did everything offensively in the summer. I don't know how. Like, the only other thing, like, it would have to be then them almost standing pat at the trade deadline. I don't see the Oilers standing pat.
Are we still accruing space?
I believe so. Yeah, not much, but I think they're under the cap limit because they don't have Brown. Josh Brown got sent down too, so should be just the one spare right now.
The only thing I would say about defense, though, like, who is it?
Yeah,
Because that's the only, like, when you
gotta
look at the free agency list coming up, and that's generally what you look at for rentals. There isn't that player that I think a lot of people are like, yes, there's an immediate yes. So it almost has to be that a Matthias Ekholm move where no one's expecting it.
Will Borgen, did he re-sign?
I think he just got.
in
Was
Seattle?
he was just traded to New York for Capo Caco, was he not?
Oh yeah, I think
he
you're
might have
right.
been.
He's
he
a
was.
beauty. 6'2",
Physical.
210.
Here's what I'll say. I think that one guy that I'm very sad that the Oilers lost, and I loved him earlier in the season, was Travis Dermott.
Yeah.
I loved that guy. And sending him down for a defenseman that you claimed off waivers that is still injured, what's the point?
I think Travis Dermott was useless personally. I didn't
I didn't
I think
understand the
Josh Brown
signing.
was
I didn't.
useless, and there's a reason
You're
he's
going to
in the
go out and
AHL.
PTO someone that is redundant in your roster. He is a decent skater, decent puck mover, but no physicality.
None.
Shoots the wrong way. I didn't understand the signing in the first place.
No.
I don't know. I liked him. I don't know if that's just, I guess that's my style of the defenseman that I like, but
The thing is, where I'll go with him, Travis Dermott here or not, doesn't change the Oilers winning a Stanley Cup
No.
in my mind.
not at
The
all.
Oilers win the Stanley Cup this year with Dermott or not, like, it's not going to be because of him.
He's a decent enough eighth.
So like, in the end, they're still going to have the concerns as a team of, do you have a solidified defense that's good enough to go and win that Stanley Cup? And it is,
But
you know,
who do you
it's
get?
going to come down to, like, Darnell Nurse has had a better season.
Who do you get and what's it
100%.
cost
And
you?
he needs to have that. He needs to even be a little bit better in the playoffs. If Darnell Nurse is just a little bit better in the playoffs this year, they're depending on who they bring in, they're in a good spot defensively, I would have to say.
Yeah, me too. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the D has performed as well as they have.
So then the question, like, so then Skinner's got to play well, and I know your thoughts on goaltending was
I
so
love
bad.
Jeff Skinner, or I love Stu Skinner.
What are you-
You know, he won in junior. He's won virtually everywhere he's been. It's not
the
Stu
other person.
Skinner or Chet Pickard or Calvin Pickard that I have issue with. I think Stu has long had Dustin Schwartz as his goalie guru. And, you know, good on him, Edmonton boy and what have you. I don't think that Dustin Schwartz is in a position technically to elevate these goalies. When I look at the great goalie coaches in the league, in New York, in Nashville, I wish we could get Billy Rafford out of LA.
He's not the guy.
I want Mike Smith.
Yeah,
No,
I'd
he's
love
not
to
the
see
guy.
Mike Smith come in.
It's Sean Burke. Sean Burke's the
Mike
guy that
Smith.
doesn't get talked.
Goalie
Like,
whisperer.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah, in
like
Vegas.
in Arizona, he was unbelievable, and then all of a sudden he was like bouncing around, and no one wanted him for something. Like, why is no one
He
going for Sean
interviewed-
Burke? And then he goes to Vegas, and they have all these other goalies that are doing well. Sean Burke is the goalie
Yeah.
whisperer.
Yeah, he interviewed here in Edmonton for the GM job when they went with Holland.
And I don't know if I'd want him as a GM.
No.
But he is always just had that touch with the goalies that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I think Mike Smith would work so much better than him, because Mike Smith has had a relationship with Stuart Skinner for years. They play very similar, and he's had connections with the organization for years. We made it to the conference finals with a 40-year-old goalie. Guess who that was? Mike Smith.
Yeah, and he did it in Arizona, and
Yeah.
he did it elsewhere. It wasn't just here.
I think that if Skinner wants to keep playing the style that he is playing, you need a guy that knows what that style is and knows Skinner well.
I don't think bringing in if we're gonna replace Schwartz, you got to bring in someone that's been experienced. I don't think a former goalie just a couple years out would be.
You don't want a rookie goalie coach.
No,
right off the
especially
bat.
they'd be fine.
I want to know what Francois Allaire's doing today.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
So Benoit's in New York as director of goalies, and Francois is 6 years older than him. Benoit, I think, is 56, 57 years old. So, he's not
He
ancient.
retired in 2017.
Yeah, he's not ancient, but I think when Francois Allaire retired, I think there's a direct correlation with Team Canada and Canadian goalies in general, the decline. The Allaire's, they developed the butterfly style and were able to work individually with all sorts of goalies and take their knowledge and stylistic teachings and sort of, mold it to whichever goalie they had, whether it was Henrik Lundqvist or, Patrick Wall in Montreal, Jocelyn Thibault. These are goalie whispers. And that's, I think, in the McDavid area, and that's why I get so bent out of shape over Dustin Schwartz and his 11 years here, is we have an opportunity, again, with Connor and Leon and this club, that I feel Kate's and every GM that has given Dustin Schwartz a free pass is not taking advantage of the opportunity. You don't get a cap on coaches. So if Daryl Cates went to Francois Allaire today and said, I'll give you $5 million. Come be our director of goalie, much like you have. Keep Dustin Schwartz, but I don't think Dustin Schwartz is able to elevate Stu's game. I think Dustin Schwartz has done a wonderful job in bringing Stu's game to where it is today. I just don't know if he can help him reach the next level.
To be in full Vezina conversations and things like that, year in and year out.
Yeah, and I think Stu's got the capabilities. I think again, it's Dustin Schwartz style, Schwartzism, a blocker of pucks, not a stopper of pucks, and I think that Stu has more athleticism than he shows.
It is Oilers, Utah later tonight, 7 o'clock down at Rogers Place, 6 o'clock GCL Diesel Oil Stream, a pregame show. Tommy, Hernan, and Cass will get you set for that game. Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout. They are brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of EST. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, thehighproductmarketing.com. We've got a few EST hoodie,
I don't
EST
got one yet.
hat, EST.
I don't own any merch.
What do you mean you don't own any merch?
I don't own anything. Nobody's got me anything.
You've got the Oiler hat too. You brought the Oiler hat color.
I've got a couple
or
of costume
blue and orange.
changes.
Got to be careful on
I'm
that.
fairly superstitious. I am
Are you?
superstitious. I'm not little stitious. I'm
You?
superstitious.
No, not at all.
No? Are you superstitious at all?
Kind of. So,
Okay, so I'm going to say you're a little bit of the outlier here on the show because I border on a little stitious and superstitious. I'm in between.
it depends on when it is in the season. If it's playoffs, yes. I wear, it's hard to explain. You lose one game, I
You
collect,
switch after a
so
loss?
I collect
Yeah.
jerseys. So I had every jersey that they wore last season. Every game, if they lose one, switch. If they lose it, switch. And then don't wash your jersey if you're on a win streak. That's the other one.
No,
Yeah.
can't do
Never
that.
do that.
Both
Even
these
if it has
jerseys
multiple
are
stains on
recently
it.
washed.
They have or haven't
Are
recently washed?
yeah, just because
All right, so you're superstitious through the regular season.
through every game, preseason, you name it.
Preseason?
Yeah,
Why preseason? Who cares about preseason?
I love
preseason.
preseason because preseason's the time of year I have two daughters and I get to take them to a game without mortgaging or selling the vehicle.
Good point.
So, I love hockey. I love the Oilers. I started my love for EST with Dustin in the summer doing his lineups and I never stop thinking Oilers. And
Good point.
so it's
What do you guys think happens tonight? Do you think we win?
We beat Utah the last time we played them, right? Overtime, or it was 3-2.
3-2. Yeah,
It was a 3. I think we can lock them down. They have Ingram injured, who is their stud goalie. So
Vamelka's played really good though lately. He's
Yeah,
like
I
won 7
like
in a
that
row.
Vamelka
And
guy.
his stats are really good.
I can't wait to see Dylan Gunther return to Edmonton.
He's having a
Love
wicked
that guy.
season.
I met
Gunther.
him when he was an Oil King.
yeah?
Nicest guy I'll ever meet. But no, I think that the Oilers can get the win at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think they'll pull it out tonight.
Yeah.
I think I said 3-2 in overtime.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out with hellfire in the first period because they just lost to the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, and I hope that someone somewhere read them a riot act and said this is not how Stanley Cup champions play.
Not at all.
That Utah team though, young and skilled, they're going to be good for a long time, man. They're going to be good for a long time.
Arizona's got to kick itself, right? Because they were
That was their team. It was on cusp of having a good hockey team.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
trade for Sergachev.
Yeah. And then okay, we're gonna do our winning somewhere else. Thanks for coming.
It's like you do one deal for Sergachev, and all of a sudden they were the only team that wasn't. They were the only team left undefeated, at the start of the season. Only team left undefeated just because of one move.
Michael Kesslering would look really good on our second pair right D right now too, eh?
I'll say when they moved on from him, I was one that was it's whatever. Like who is, and there were some out there that were like, this is gonna hurt in a little bit, and he's made himself a nice. He's putting together start of a nice little career potentially right here. I do want to say later on in the hangout, I do got to read this. I got an email from Dusty. Thank you, and I'm sorry. It's to the Spite League.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote an entire letter to the Spite League that I am a part of. I feel like I should read part of this later on in the hangout. I just got that he told me a couple days ago that he had this full letter written up. So Dusty with his he finished with 170 points in the championship.
Sounds like some Dustin Nielsen stuff right there. That sounds like something Dustin Nielsen would do.
He won 170 to 100 in the final. Just now, the other guy had Jalen Hurts, and he couldn't play Jalen Hurts because he was hurt and stuff. But just boot stomped him.
Of course, Jalen Hurts is hurt.
So we'll have to get to that. I get it because the last name.
Exactly.
Well done, well done. Sorry, I just stopped that Oilers there a little bit here. Did we say everyone feeling good about the win then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they can get it done.
The big thing to me, it's the Ducks. That's where I want to see how they produce on Friday.
Yeah.
I just think that they didn't work hard enough against the Ducks.
And they should be pissed off. And
Yeah.
on Friday, especially, it's the same team you're seeing within a week.
They
It's not
played
like
the Ducks on Friday.
yeah, like
Okay,
so it's
they're gonna
not
kill
like
them.
it's you're waiting a while. You have that team that of one of the two teams that beat you this past weekend.
Yeah.
that is right there coming up.
This
Time-
might be a
at
bold
home.
prediction,
Time
but
to
I
put your
call
foot-
I call 5-0 win against the Ducks.
It should be something like that.
Stu gets a start.
I bet they come out with hellfire. They just lost to this team that they shouldn't have lost to. They're just gonna be like, okay, we got to kill them.
Tonight? Or yeah.
Stu will start
Against the Ducks on Friday.
Yeah, Stu will start tonight, but does
Well, they play Friday, Saturday.
so
Then they got because they got Wednesday, Thursday off, so they play Friday, Saturday.
it'll be picks.
I wouldn't mind going back to him. He did well on Sunday.
Did he?
He kept them in. It was a closer game to start because of him.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then it kind
Second period,
Yeah.
he was out of this world.
So the team wasn't producing. So I think you give him that shot. And I'm also always of the mindset because Nowadays, we don't have goalies go back to back. You split them.
Yeah.
I think you put your starter on the second day.
Gage hates that.
I know he does. You put it on the second day because your team is played the first day, so they're a little less fresh. I would rather have a fresher goalie, like my number one fresher goalie for game 2, to help bail out the lack of freshness.
Saturday?
Yeah. Anaheim, Seattle.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of Pickard, Skinner
Yeah, 100%.
in this way.
Yeah.
But they should beat down on the Ducks.
The way it all lines up.
It's a nice little schedule to have right now. They got Utah, who lost 4.
That
they
they're
get the
not
Ducks.
taking advantage of. That they're not taking it.
But you got Anaheim, you got Seattle, then it's Boston, but then Pittsburgh and Chicago after that to get to almost the middle part of January when the LA Kings come to town. There's points to be had coming up here for the Edmonton Oilers. They should go get those points.
Anyone pick up Jesse?
We'll find out at noon.
I sure hope we don't. I'm done with that.
I want him so bad. I need that man.
Yeah, I
need
think
him back in the
Dustin
city.
would volunteer a pickled
him up at
herring
the airport, yeah.
in celebration.
I'll be intrigued if someone claims him. I think this is one of those. I think there's a chance he goes unclaimed.
Yeah, and
It's stop number 3 or there'll be stop number 4 if he goes somewhere.
8 points in 25-ish games.
He had 5 points in the first 6 games of the season this year. He was pointless in game 1 and then went 5 straight games with a point. So he rattled off a lot of points early. Hasn't had a lot of points since. And that's why I think we're led to this point now where Pittsburgh put him on waivers.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know why. Like threw it out on the oil strip. To me, like a Buffalo would make sense. You get everything wrong. Maybe you'll get maybe a guy who needs a fresh start. Maybe you just need these 2 things to come together. He's a negative right now. You're a negative. Maybe that makes the positive.
I think Montreal.
But Trev threw that one out there. Reunite him with Line A.
Yeah.
Speaking of Buffalo, how do they suck so bad every year? Because they have Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin, Alex Tuck,
Owen Power.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Owen Power. They have the one guy from Colorado,
Byram.
Byram. How are they sucking so bad? They have a
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Ukko-Pekka, love that guy.
Yeah.
Like, how are they sucking? They finally got their first win of the season or something.
Well, they broke the
12
streak.
games or something.
Do they need to tear it down at this point? Start over.
I think they need to make one big acquisition, and then they can.
They have won 3 straight.
But
No, well, Gager said it on the afternoons yesterday that he
Every
thinks
year
everyone's
they've
coming in with their
sucked.
least amount of no one's taking them seriously, and they're taking advantage of that right now.
every year they've sucked. Plus, I don't think they. If I'm correct, they have the longest streak of not making the playoffs.
Active streak.
Active streak, at 11, 12 years or something.
14?
I can't remember.
And I like Buffalo.
Been a
I
minute.
like them. So it's
Yeah, I loved
tough.
watching Buffalo in the 80s, 90s. Hasek was something else to behold, and
then
Brad May, and
if you look at it, their AHL team's great because they have all their young guys in the AHL. Zach Benson, a few other guys. They traded Savoy, which for the Sabres, terrible move.
didn't understand that move.
The
at all.
Oilers fleeced the Sabres.
Well, we'll find out.
That kid's been doing
He
well.
he hasn't been tearing it up in the A. He hasn't been tearing it up in the A
I will throw this out there. The Buffalo Sabres do have the longest NHL drought ever.
ever.
In the NHL, longest drought. It's 13 seasons, on
13.
pace for 14 this year. The next closest, Florida and the Edmonton Oilers at 10 season. That's how long
I wonder
their
if
drought.
Adams
Stanley
has
Cup
any
final
interest.
matchup.
I wonder if Adams has any interest in Skinner. Paying him
bring him
anyways.
back.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Now,
I think there's actually rules against that.
I think so.
Oh, where
too.
you bought him
Because
out?
of the
Yeah,
buyout,
yeah, yeah.
I think so. You can't buy them out. They go somewhere. I think they can't come to you.
For
I
a
don't
year
think
or
he'd be
something.
hard to
Thought
trick,
maybe
though.
I could be off on that, but somebody will correct me.
Maybe the Oilers could get a draft pick out of it.
Out of Jeff Skinner,
Yeah, trading Jeff Skinner back to Buffalo, and then the NHL award them Buffalo's pick because they broke the rules.
Compensation somehow.
I think we're owed compensation from somewhere.
the only problem is Jeff
Well,
Skinner. I know it's a joke, but Jeff Skinner has to approve a trade.
Yeah.
yeah. I
He
think
ain't going to Buffalo.
I don't think anyone's going above
Been there,
if
done
they have a
that.
choice.
Yeah.
I think we're owed compensation for the decade of darkness. If anything, I think we're owed about.
I think
probably
Connor. I
three
think
first-round picks and
Connor McDavid is paid in full. I'd take the decade of darkness to get Connor McDavid.
yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
And Nuge,
Yep.
and Nuge and Draisaitl. So you got your top. That's your top three right there. So
Jodes is in the nasty chat asking if everyone's opinion if Stetcher sits out tonight after a bad game on Sunday. He's going to be playing because they don't have they
don't
only
have
got
a-
6 D-men, and Regal is still hurt when they claimed him.
Well, they literally almost flew out of Baco, so they could have grabbed someone on the way. But I don't think Knobloch is in the business of sending messages. So
hey,
no,
maybe if you had Travis
play.
Dermott on the team, you could actually sit Troy Stetcher.
But then he's playing his off wing, and he's a he's
I
a
don't know, this
replacement
might-
level player.
This might be an unpopular opinion here, but I'd rather have Josh Brown as your 7th D-man, and I have said that all year, than Dermott.
Yeah, he's gonna drop the gloves.
Yeah,
not gonna worry about
some truculence we
physicality.
talked about there. Dermott was making mistakes, wasn't winning puck battles too before, right? Maybe made a better first pass, probably did, but other than that, they're not. Neither of them are NHL players. They're probably 7, 8 D men right now. Hence why Dermott was a PTO guy, and Brown was signed early for 3 years, but probably didn't need to be. But I would have had Brown up for the extra $150K he was making, or $200K all year, and be able to throw him into games, like say against when we played Florida or whoever, Calgary, whatever. Some games just for a bit more physicality too. 'Cause
This
the heavies
team
in
is
the lineup.
definitely in need of it.
Yeah.
The Oilers lineups, well, this is what they practiced with the SJ from Bob Stauffer. McDavid in between Nugent, Hyman, Draisaitl centering Podkolzin and Arvidsson, Henrik between Janmark and Brown, Ryan with Perry and Kapanen, Jeff Skinner as the extra, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emberson were the defensive pairings, with Skinner getting the start. So that's what it's looking at right now. Joe's also saying, well, why haven't... Oh, Rip, no, it's going to something else. Never mind, sorry. Commenting on someone else there. So, yeah, we'll see what the Oilers do. In the end, 2024 was a very wild year for the Edmonton Oilers. In the calendar year itself started off with 11 straight wins in January. They go to a Stanley Cup final in what was a roller coaster ride, lose the Stanley Cup, get off to a weird start again this year. But December, in the end, no matter what happens tonight, it's a successful month. At worst case, there'll be 8-4-1 in the month of December. Best case, obviously, 9-3-1 in the month of December. So the Edmonton Oilers largely finishing relatively well. They have to win today for me to say they finish strong. If you lose 3 straight, you're not finishing the year strong. But a good 2024.
Absolutely.
Very good 2024. This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts. More than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transition. Check them out, sentinel.ca. We've got Garyn from the Combine crew, Jordy Mack, X-Ray J, Matt Iwanyk with you here on this nasty New Year's Hangout edition as we wrap up 2024 and head on to 2025. X-Ray J now is the World Juniors.
Yeah,
Jersey. Or Canada, that's an Olympic.
Yeah,
2010
is 2009 or no? It's
That's the
Crosby.
2010 one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2010. Yeah,
And so now the World Juniors. This is
Yeah.
for the World Juniors.
figured I'd do
Canada, US.
a physical segue.
Anyone excited about
I'm
tonight?
always pumped for World Juniors.
Yeah?
yeah.
I don't know. For me, I get excited for World Juniors for the first 2 days, and then I just forget all about it.
Really?
I don't know. I just don't seem to watch enough hockey.
See, now's the time to, I feel like it was always like New Year's Eve marquee. You have that big Canada rush it used to be for lots, and then Canada US, and then it leads into the knockout where it really matters. You just want to see Canada dominate,
Latvia.
the 10-0 or 10-0.
Here's what I wish. I wish that you could have, because World Juniors is under 20, correct?
Yes,
I wish that you could have NHL guys in the World Juniors.
You can.
you can.
You can.
If the players, if the teams let them go, they can
I
go.
wish the teams would let them go.
Occasionally it
Because
happens.
look-
Celebrini is Celebrini not better served
I think
leading this nation to a cup than he is in San Jose?
No.
I think that it would just be fun to watch. and you could even have it on like an NHL break or something. And during this Four Nations, all the young guys that didn't make the Four Nations team, maybe, if they did the World Juniors then, they do that. Oh my, it would be so fun to watch.
You don't lose that many
Bedard's-
players, though.
Yeah, no,
Like, Bedard, I don't think would be eligible.
it's only 19.
I'm going to double check.
I feel like it'll be fun to see if you could have, and just if
19,
these
so
guys even
I
went
guess not.
to the World Juniors. I feel like it'd be fun to have a line of Celebrini, Bedard, and McKenna. Oh my God. They would just light it up. Bedard scoring, 50 points in 5 games or something? That's probably what he'd do. And clean up house. Canada wins gold by unanimous automatically, no matter what.
Then what's the point of having the tournament?
I feel like if you
If
had...
Canada's just going to go and roll everyone 10-0, what's the point?
But then look at the U.S. team at the same time. They also have a lot of young prospects. That would be a fun match to
How
watch.
about that Easton Cowan shootout move with the 8 leg kicks there? That's a Leaf prospect if I've seen one.
That's me playing NHL
moly.
25. I'm just can only hit leg kicks.
Spamming the R3 trigger there.
Yeah.
The R3 trigger. I know there's a
Boom, boom,
Sony
boom.
guy here. Is that Sony?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I haven't played. Does Xbox have anything like they don't have R? Like, what are their?
They have R3.
Is it R? Okay, never mind. Then.
Well, yes
it's
and no.
RB and something.
RB.
isn't it?
R1 and R2, L1 and L2.
but it's weird because both consoles have R3, but Xbox is R3, even though it should be like RC or something like that. Because they use letters, not numbers, so it's confusing.
I've never really played Xbox. My brother got an Xbox to play NCAA football, so I played it one time, and I was trying to figure out some of the buttons and some of the things I just couldn't still figure out.
I'm a
I
PlayStation
rolled
guy.
in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Of course, I played the Pop-Tart Bowl. I was playing just an exhibition. I had to go play the Pop-Tart Bowl. The EST Hangout is the home of Pop-Tart Bowl talk in this country.
I love that game, actually.
It's great.
So I got the EA 10-hour trial. You can get it for like $10 or something, or $5. So I played that, and they have the new online team builder and stuff. So me, being a Edmonton sports fan, I created the U of A Golden Bears.
Nice.
And foot field jerseys and all, fully updated logo. And my computer crashed.
Aw.
I tried to make it. I don't have a good. I have a school, like a Chromebook, and it crashed like 30 times. It was overheating. Like you could probably cook eggs on that thing. That's how hot it was. Yeah, no, it was bad, but no, we got it up. I found a random computer in my house and cooked that thing up, made the logos look good and stuff, and tossed it on there. So yeah, no, it was fun to use them. It's great.
You into the World Juniors?
Not really.
No. Were you in the past?
Not really.
Okay, that's interesting. That you don't get too often. Like, cause I'm different from you. I was big into it, and the passion's faded.
Yeah.
It's you don't get a lot as many people that just didn't have that. So I'm fascinated by that.
Never really. I just haven't always watched it, but never really followed it that closely. I've always been an NHL guy.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Decade of Darkness really trained me to watch the World Juniors because that's where we're coming from.
That's looking at those stars and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little older than the two of you guys. And there was just something about like the late '90s, early 2000s and stuff that was just like
Can't miss.
It was. It wasn't what it was today in terms of even TV production value.
No.
It was just this like TV, this thing that was happening, and you would just watch it. And it wasn't as big of a production as it was today. It didn't have the money. It had more of an innocence to it. Still, for me, I got in when there was still a little bit of an innocence still to the games and the tournaments, and there was something just so lovely about that.
Yeah,
Especially at Christmas time.
I remember the John Slaney goal, watching Martin Lapointe. It has been a staple of my holiday season as long as I can remember, and just love to see the next gen of hockey evolve. My concern is this: if Canada fails to medal again this year, do we see an overhaul in Hockey Canada? This will be back to back, no medal, no, not even playing for a medal. It's
Did Dave Cameron coach the team last year too? Do you guys know?
I think he did.
Well,
Or was
if
it
they don't
someone
medal
else?
again, I definitely wouldn't be going back to him.
Well,
and this is his 5th trip as
Yeah.
coach of Canada. I looked him up on Hockey DB to see what sort of hockey player he was, and yeah, he was 40 goal, 80 point player in junior, which boggles my mind because there's a lot of offense sitting at home for Canada.
1,000%.
Oh, so he was the head coach. It looks like in
Yeah,
2022 when they won here in Edmonton.
Oh, that was that summer one,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So and then I'm just looking at his Wikipedia. It says he was named that year, replacing Andre Tournier. Now I got to see. Okay, so 2023 was Halifax. We gold medaled that year. Who was on our roster? Who was our coach that year? Sometimes these are a little harder to find. Oh, there we go. Rosters, Group A. Are we Group A? Canada was. It was Dennis Williams who won that year. And then 2004 last year, who was our coach last year? Didn't medal. It is always wild when you see them not medaling
Yeah,
for Canada. It's just, it's unnerving. Alan Letang.
No idea who that is.
yeah.
No, he's the head coach
Never
for the
heard.
Sarnia Sting of the OHL. So he was the head coach last year when they didn't. And they brought Dave Cameron back. But Dave Cameron famously is the one who, back in Buffalo, and Trevor and I were talking about it on the oil stream yesterday. I forgot what year it was. I think it was 2012 or something like that, where there was a huge collapse to Russia. Canada was up, I think, 3 goals in the third
Yeah, in
period,
the
and
third
it was
period.
just goal,
3 minutes.
goal. Like
Yeah.
Russia just took over. And he had a timeout at one moment, and it looked like he was just like yelling at the players, and it just like he didn't calm anything down, and it just got away from Canada, and we lost the gold medal that year. So, if we don't medal, would there be a big overall? I don't know if there'd be big overall, but I'd hope that they would change. I think sometimes we get in our way too much, and we think we're going to build a team as opposed to just
beat
bringing the best
US.
players.
Yeah.
I think that's what they did this year. Is they built a team to beat the U.S.
Just bring the best players.
Yeah.
If they're such good players, they're going to figure out their roles. They'll be fine.
We've got the number 3, number 6, number 7, number 9 draft picks from last year sitting at home eating bonbons.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
And a team that is outwardly struggling to score. Carter Yakimchuk out of Fort McMurray is 6'3", 6'4", 200 pounds. Skates like the wind. Zane Pareka,
Zane Parek, yeah.
96 points last year, sitting at home.
How?
That Senate Beneke too, that was drafted
Yeah,
3rd overall.
third
from the
overall.
Ducks. Big boy didn't make it.
6'4", 213 pounds. I think that like you say, Maddie, they got in their own way, and I believe it was a Cameron-led selection committee that said, I want to take a team that I believe will be able to compete with the U.S. And the way you compete with the U.S. this year is they've got offensive dynamos all over the ice, and it is a defense-first system. But I think our team this year is a little small and a little light on offense.
One was isn't there's only 3 or 4 WHL guys, isn't there?
Yeah.
And 15 OHL guys and a couple guys from the Q.
Yeah.
Maybe they need some heavier Western League boys lay the body.
Well, we always play hockey the right way in the West, so
Oh, yeah.
Well, Norm, in a combine, nasty chat. There's no Alberta beef on this year's team.
not a one.
Big Uke also saying Canada isn't medaling this year. I'm very concerned about an upcoming blow to the Americans tonight as well. These Canadians are not melding together. Can't score.
Shout out Big Uke, adopted honorary member of the Combine crew. We've
Oh, yeah?
accepted him in, yeah.
Always an honor, remember.
Yeah, he is in.
Oh, round the clicks for Big Uke. Congratulations. Congratulations to Big Uke on that. I guess here's the thing. There could be criticism of Dave Cameron and the selection of this team. I guess we'll find out tonight. If they go out and win this game and they win Group A, all of a sudden, boom, okay, they may have got it right. Then, I guess we're still a little early on this. We're all thinking, okay, this isn't going to go well. But if they ultimately actually go win this, and then it's like, okay, maybe they did the right thing and are prepping themselves for winning this in the right way. One way to find out now tonight, and that's just watch this game. But if it doesn't go well,
Prove Cameron right or wrong tonight.
Very much so, because if it doesn't go well, everyone will be like, "Told you so." But like, what do you? You're overthinking yourself. This is the Mark Crawford situation type thing where Wayne Gretzky not playing in the shootout. If Canada wins that game
without him,
no one talks about that.
Yeah. What a genius Crawford is.
He did. He did what's best for winning hockey. Absolutely.
Showed some chutzpahs.
But you lose. Everyone goes, you left Gretzky on the bench. What are you doing?
Never
and
forget
Dave Cameron, hey, you want to build this team. You left some people at home. Cool. You go win. No one's going to say anything. But if you don't win, everyone's going to be immediately going, you left players at home. Good job, dude.
Yeah, for me, Hockey Canada is really had a black eye from the elitism that Hockey Canada has always approached with, and the debacle that is playing itself out in court. I was really hoping that the refit of Hockey Canada would have sort of strayed away from what we're seeing in a lot of the players on the current machination of Team Canada have played in all the U18s and have been members of Hockey Canada in the past, whereas the Perek, how do you say his name?
Perek. Correct.
Yakimchuk haven't been on those Team Canada teams, so I feel like they weren't even in consideration. Hence, why they didn't get an invite. And just because you played on Team Canada as a 16-year-old doesn't make you better at hockey than a player who's never played on Team Canada. You've got to, like you say, take the best players from your country and say, let's go win.
Jeff Skinner is back in tonight as per EST insider Tom Gazzola.
Oh, because there was
I'm taking that from Rip City Steps, so.
He doesn't make stuff up.
Chris Knobloch says Jeff Skinner will be back in the lineup and he's going to do some line shuffling for the Oilers as they welcome Utah to town. So the lines we saw yesterday, that's interesting to skate one way yesterday and then make changes today.
Mind games.
Yeah.
Throwing Torgny off.
You can't just go in normally with Utah. There's always that challenge. You got to deal with that. So, yeah, okay, thank you for that. Tom Gazzola adding, Chris Knobloch says Jeff Skinner will be back in the lineup tonight. He's going to do some line shuffling as the Oilers welcome to Utah to town. Yeah, you just generally don't see that too often because it was an optional skate, so not a lot of people would be skating today. Yesterday was a chance to practice, and he went with one lines and changing up from there until today. So
maybe Jeff actually showed up at the rink and was like, well, geez, you're showing a little motivation. Maybe we'll put you in the lineup, bud.
Games, which maybe that was his way of also extra motivating Jeff Skinner, like to show him, to be like, yeah, you are. Like maybe Jeff Skinner thought I'm not going to be playing, and then it was a way, no, you're in the lineup to try to motivate him or something like that. The official drink of the EST Hangout, it is the Finnish Long Drink Legend of 1952, a drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada. Oh, that was awful. That was it. That was one of my worst. That might have been my worst throw ever.
Yeah.
If you're heading to the game tonight, you can get the long drink at Rogers Place. What a way to ring in the new year than with some long drinks.
I've never had one of those.
No?
No, we had them on the table, and I was told by Norm if break my fingers if I went and touched one. They were his. So.
Had he had one before he's made that threat?
No.
Because I was gonna.
Not.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna be like, that's a real threat. Like that's how good it is. He's threatening to break fingers.
Those are all
He
mine.
runs a pretty tight ship there.
I'm not old enough to have one, so.
When you are, get a Finnish long drink. They are delicious. Okay, I want to quickly read a little bit of Dusty's email here to Spite League.
Our fearless leader, we miss you.
I don't want to. It's a long email. How many paragraphs would I put this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
a giant email.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 paragraphs, basically. You wrote this?
Or 3 or 4 pages.
Good morning, Rusty Truckers. I take great pleasure this morning in writing this message as a way to recap the most dominant playoff run in the history, following up 164 points in the semifinal with 170 in the final, put an exclamation point on a no-doubt championship season. Is 454 points in 3 playoff matchups good? I'd like to say thank you to the commissioner and the 9 people who voted against giving me best player available with the 11th overall pick for the motivation I needed to go all in and walk to my 3rd title in the last 8 years.
Cheers, Dust.
Thank you to the commissioner for putting him on tilt so badly at the end of the first round that despite the fact I already had Stroud and Richardson, I decided to draft Jaden Daniels simply because I know it pisses people off when guys hoard quarterbacks. His 34 points in the final were huge, but even if he had 0, I still would have won. That's kind of how this whole thing goes. He ends with this league, like all other leagues, has needed a villain for a long time. Now we have one. So that's part of a long email
Dusty the heel.
that Dusty sent to the fantasy football league that we are in, where Dusty capped off his spite season and he won the championship, and called out people.
Is there other media members in that league, or?
Nope. There used to be one radio jock, but he's no longer in radio anymore. That was part of this.
Does Dustin Nielsen make the new version of the New World Order? Hogan leg drop on Macho Man. That's exactly what he's doing right now. He's full heel turn.
I'm loving it. It's he is a victory lap that he's going to get out of this, and I know people well deserved. He did a great job with it.
That was a pretty harsh omission. No, you just lose your pick, bud.
Well, and
he was on a plane, was he not?
He was getting on a plane or getting off a plane, and then, like, there was Wi-Fi and stuff and connecting to it, and it just didn't work out. And I was the beneficiary. I got the player that he was going to take. But
how'd that work out?
You want to know something? I missed the playoffs, but I was one of the highest scoring teams in the league. I had bad luck this year, legitimately bad luck this year, but it worked out in my favor because I missed the playoffs. I wasn't gonna be Dusty.
Yeah.
In the end, so I was gonna have a middle pick that wasn't gonna be useful to me. Now I get a top 4 pick.
Top 4.
Perfect. I have good keepers, so it's like I'm set up for next year kind of nicely.
Well, last time Oilers had 4, it didn't work out well, Matt. Just saying.
Number 4?
Yeah.
I think we have a draft lottery.
Oh, okay.
So I could jump up.
Yeah.
I just don't know who to take this year.
We got some guy named Puljärvi with the 4th. So
Hey.
I leapt out of my seat when Vegas took Dubois.
We've got
Columbus took Dubois.
We've got an hour and 40 minutes left to figure out where.
Puljärvi's going to go.
It's the countdown is
Time's
on.
ticking.
I should have put a clock on our graphics that just had the countdown to when we
Puljärvi
find out what
clock.
happens to Jesse Puljärvi.
Put that on the Instagram story.
I
a
find
full
it
countdown.
Yeah.
hard to think Montreal pass on him. 6'4", 210 pounds. You know, skates decent with his new hips. I'd like to see him get back to 17-year-old Puljärvi. And when I think back on that Finnish team, he beat Lindros. You know, it wasn't Lonnie, it wasn't Aho, it was Puljärvi, and he did it with a shot, and he did it with size. I don't know what happened.
You got to think there was a reason, though, that a Finnish GM and Kekalainen there passed on him for Dubois. Like, you got to think that he knew something, or...
Well, one of the stories that came out was they felt that they wanted a center, that they wanted to go positional there. But then there is also that, well, usually, though, at that position, you do take best player available. Norman, a comment in the Nasty chat, though, does say, he lies, damn kids, I think, to your laundry comment. So, well, Garyn's here, so I'm going to trust him. Sorry, Norm. He did say, though, that you're a big junior lacrosse.
Yeah. I coached junior B team in St. Albert. Played my whole life. That's probably my number one sport. Yeah.
Is so like? Do you follow NLL or
Yes.
That's the one you follow?
Yes.
Do you remember the Rush?
Yes. I worked for the Rush when
Did
they were
you?
here. Yeah.
Cool.
I was recording face-offs and stuff in the catwalk at Rexall there.
One of my school teachers was Jimmy Quinlan.
Oh, Jimmy Quinlan.
Yeah, he was. I think taught me study skills in grade 7.
He's,
One of the best classes I had this year.
captain.
Love him.
Well, ended up becoming coach.
Still the coach.
Is he?
Still the
Co-head coach.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
he was the only one to have his number retired.
Yes, I saw
By the
Jimmy
Rush.
last week. Yeah, the Rush they were 3-0. They're 3-1 now, lost in overtime to Philly, but had their four leading scorers were all out with illness. Like it was not. They were going and they weren't going to win. Philly's a shitty team too.
Derek
so.
Keenan's still involved with that team?
So Derek Keenan was the GM. He has been. And the Rush were really bad last year. So Jimmy was made co-coach, and Keenan is co-coach with them now on the bench.
Oh, okay, because Derek Keenan was great. He built that Rush team here in Edmonton to that championship, and then followed up with another one in Saskatchewan. He was a good coach.
Two in Saskatchewan. They won 3 and 4 years.
Okay, he built something. Like he was. It took the Rush had a few coaches prior, but like, or was he the second coach? Can't remember. But he was just immediately like, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he was.
Keenan too. He coaches Junior A in Whitby. That's where he's from. And I don't know if you guys remember Mark Matthews, Robert Church, Ryan Keenan, his kid. They all played in Whitby together, and Keenan loaded up with draft picks to draft those guys. Like they won the Minto Cup together, which is Junior A National Championship with the core of Matthews and Church. I'd have to go back and look. I think Nick Billick was on there. And he ended up with all those guys in Edmonton and Saskatchewan. So Keenan is one of the lacrosse geniuses.
Yeah. When you have the opportunity to train players for a better part of a decade, you're going to know what you're getting.
Yeah, you know what you're going to absolutely be getting. It seems like the NLL is getting a little bit of a more attention, or like it seems like attendances in their various markets has gone up over recently. Or maybe I'm just following the right people now.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's becoming more of a, like the league, it had a lot of franchises that move around. I think they still had a couple of franchises move around recently, but there seems more stability in the NLL.
In certain organizations, so Buffalo, they had they play where the Sabres play.
Yep.
They sold out this weekend was their home opener. This past weekend, it was 19,000 plus.
Oh,
there.
wow.
Colorado.
When the Sabres are crap and somebody goes selling it.
Colorado always gets good turnout to Mammoth. They've been around a long time too, though. The Rush, when they moved to Saskatchewan, they were getting 10, 12 grand, or 12,000 people. Their attendance is continuously dropping. They're at 5 or 6 now.
Oh, yeah.
Average, it's not great.
Yeah, I forgot the reason for that. I was
Is
having
it
a
the price
conversation with some
point,
people
or?
from there. I don't think they've done the right things of marketing, or I'd have to go double check.
Yeah, they sold so Bruce Urban owned the team here, and he moved them to Saskatchewan, and he sold them to the Saskatoon Blades owners, and the marketing for it's kind of gone down since.
You get what you put in.
Yeah.
If you don't put nothing in.
I wonder one day if Edmonton will have another NLL team.
I had heard there was Panther City that was in Fort Worth. They just folded this past year. I had heard they had met with with Kate, sorry, in talks of a sale. Panther City had a ton of Edmonton talent. Matthew Gauthier, Ronan Push, Jordan Cornfield was on the bench. Cameron Wagraniak's been there. Mike Triolo was there. Lots of guys that are here with the senior B minors, senior A minors, junior A minors. And they folded, but I had heard John Lintz was there. I had heard they met with Kate's in regards to a sale, but nothing ever came of it.
Don't they have like a development program here in Edmonton or something now? The NLL?
They've got some sort of school program. It's called Unboxing. They release 12 a year of markets where they run camps and stuff. I've never seen anything done with it, so I know the Edmonton team's the Edmonton Juice, and their logo.
Edmonton Juice?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked into much of that, and there's not much there in regards to that program, at least.
It makes sense to bring it back in terms of you're just looking. It's a few more dates to use Rogers Place.
Yeah.
Right.
1,000%.
Well,
And then when you own that place or you're operating that place, you want as many dates as you want. Like, I don't know where Rogers Place stands in this, but Rexall Place at one point was one of the busiest rinks in North America.
1,000%.
In terms of, well, it's just like where the numbers were, like the amount of nights it was used.
Oil Kings, Rush. I think they even had soccer there for a little bit. Too.
Well, this was well after soccer, and even after the Rush, the amount of concerts they were bringing through town, the amount of it was like
PBR.
MSG, and there was like a few other things, but it was like Northlands, the Coliseum to the end of it was a top 10 arena in North America.
And still maintaining the best ice in the NHL, too, at the same time.
It wasn't there in the final few years.
Yeah.
They got it was reputation. The Oilers got the reputation bounce that people just said it was a great one because they hadn't replaced the ice plant for like a number of years because they knew they were moving. So the ice had started going down. I don't think people are going to be saying the Oilers ice is top anymore. I know it still gets up there. But Rogers Place ice has never, I think, replicated Rexall Place ice.
And then just in regards to the NLL too, Bryce, the Sparky, part of the Combine crew, he was drafted to the Vancouver Warriors in the NLL a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah, 2021.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's been
Cool story.
yeah, a couple of guys out of Edmonton, more so recently. This past year, Jacob Power, very close family friend of ours. He was drafted 12th overall to San Diego and made their roster too.
What a
the
great
Seals.
place to go play then. I love San Diego. Great city. Getting drafted by San Diego, that'd be awesome.
And they've got the same owner as the Brooklyn Nets, that Joe Tsai.
Oh.
So they're treated very, very well.
He's got a bit of money.
In the terms of the NLL, that would be the place to be.
They still have the team there?
Yep.
It's still going. Wow.
And
I wish I was playing for them. They need a marketing person or a media person. I could go work for there. San Diego's a beautiful spot. Very laid back. It's just too bad they don't have like an NFL team or an NBA team. But
Yeah.
great golf courses. Torrey Pines is in the area. Don't know if anyone here is a golfer.
I'm
You're a golfer.
I like golf. Yeah, I'm not great, but I really enjoy it. I just got new clubs over Christmas and
What'd you get?
Stouse.
Nice.
I'm a line drive over second about 115 yards each shot, which is straight.
That's not getting sprayed into the woods. That's not a drop ball.
I don't golf much.
You don't golf?
I needed new clubs this summer, so I was able to get some. Still somehow didn't go golfing with them, but I enjoy it. I just don't find the time to go much.
I am easily the best golfer in the Combine crew, though. That I stand by.
What's its standard score?
For me,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get. He's in the nasty chat. Probably gonna disagree with us, but anywhere from 90 to 100.
Okay, that's an honest golfer right
Yeah.
there.
Truthfully,
Breaking 100. That's what is it? Only 50% of people break 100 or something like that.
I saw Jersey Jerry's doing that.
He's
Barstool
already
trying to break
in the
100.
chat. Already in the chat.
What's he trying to do?
Trying to break 100 on Barstool on foreplay, and they record it all. And he's a terrible golfer.
Oh, so is that because he's the one that he hit the hole in one, or who's that?
I don't think it was Jersey Jerry.
Because they had they were at the somebody had to do they were at the sim, and he was just hitting ball after ball
Maybe
after
it was.
ball.
It might have
I
been
think
him.
it might have been him, and it took forever for him to hit that hole in one. Oh, Norm is in. Whoa, whoa, whoa! He has never beat me.
That's lies. That is lies. I have beat him. But
Jersey Jerry hole in one challenge. It took him 40 hours.
Jesus,
That's it?
Oh God.
He sunk it in after 2,627 shots. He was streaming for 37 hours straight.
Oh my goodness.
It was it was such a big deal because I remember Huss was following it in the lock shop. They're talking about it because when he finally did it, it was like, oh my God, he did it. He got it done. I don't know if I'd ever brag about a hole in one though on a
sim.
yeah.
Yeah. Got to play the wind.
And then it's a little off. It's a little off that I don't know. I don't think I'd ever walk around and be like, I got a hole in one. It'd have to be on a real course.
Yeah, well, definitely looking forward to the EST Golf Classic again. That was absolutely unreal last year. That was wicked.
I need to book the date.
Yeah.
Still. I need to knock
It sounded like a good time.
Even for people that don't golf, it would worth it to do it. There was the guy ended up winning was in jeans.
Yeah, part of the winning team. There's a guy in the jeans. What did they? I don't know. I don't think I recorded this score. I think it was -16. It was higher than that.
Yeah, we loved playing with Cass too. That was awesome.
I'll have to. I didn't have a trophy this year. I realized looking back, I didn't have a proper trophy or something. So this year I'll have to get a proper trophy for the EST Golf Classic. That'll be one of the changes I need to get done. This is the EST Hangout. Garyn from the Combine crew, Matt, Jordy Mack, X-Ray J with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. A reminder coming up in about 30 minutes time. We do got the Lock Shop. We'll have 2 guys and a goalie with EST Afternoons with Hernan and Gager, Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, GCL Diesel Ulster and pregame show. Tommy Hernan, Gas will get you set for Oilers and Utah together in the lineup tonight. There will be some lineup changes, says Chris Knobloch, and there will be a postgame show all in advance of New Year's, where then we will end 2024, going to 2025. No live programming tomorrow. We are back Thursday as Lieutenant Eric is back with Dave Jameson on the morning show. It's been great working with Dave.
It's awesome having him back.
Iconic voice. Just an iconic voice. It's just I heard that 6:30 in the morning the other day, and I'm like, JMO.
Still cracks me up in ways that, like, he just always gets me. It's absolutely incredible. Oh, my buddy who has a golf sim just text me. If I ever hit a hole in one in my sim, no one will ever hear about it. As no one should, Kyle. As no one should. You guys, NFL, following NFL, we going this last weekend?
I watched. I had a parlay going, and the Giants ruined that over the Colts. But that was crazy.
Oh, that sucks. The parlay and they're ruined by the Giants.
That was nuts.
You an NFL?
Hard to explain. Yeah, yes and no. I know my uncle Beef Nips. He's way more. He's a Rams fan, so he follows the NFL more. Even my sister somehow, just because she's a Chiefs fan because of Taylor Swift.
No.
I don't get it. I'm still annoyed about it.
Hey, for the NFL, they just got a new fan. Good
Multiple
for them.
new fans. No, I like the Niners, but and how do you lose to the Lions?
The Lions are a great football team.
Yeah, but
MCDC, baby.
at the same time, half our team's injured, so
Yes, that's how you lose.
yeah.
It's
I don't really watch games. I just it's like, oh, they lost, and it's like, well, CMC's injured, 10 other guys are injured. What do you expect?
Yeah, I definitely lose the NFL battle on the TV at the house. So I'll take the hockey. Mm-hmm. And
you just can't convince to watching the Sundays.
I tried to convince the wife. Took the girls to their first Elks game. This summer, and they had a riot. We took them to the Dino.
Dino Days.
Dino Days, and it was a blast. It was so much fun. Got down to the tailgate with LTE and YouTube Trev, and took the girls around, and it was an absolute brilliant experience. Can't wait to do that again. On note, wondering what EST has planned for the upcoming Riverhawks. Anything in the work?
Nothing right now. We didn't talk to them last year until we had early conversations in like Feb, but then we really didn't have more conversations till about March, April. So nothing in terms of Riverhawks. I can tell you that there will be many of us sitting in seats watching those games.
So
and I
fun.
will commit. I will find the time to do the 9-9-9 challenge, 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, 9 innings. I'm going to have to find that date. I will lock it down, and I'm off to go do that.
Yeah,
I didn't get it done last year.
I'd like to join you on that one. Yeah.
I believe I can do it.
I don't think it'd be that hard. The 9 beers is the tough one because of the bloat, right?
Well, and so it's not 1 beer, 1 hot dog each inning. Like you have the inning to finish it. You can. What I found based on rules is you just have the game to do it.
Okay.
So you could crush 4 beers right off the bat if that's your. So it's the strategy that's going to matter.
Big Uke and me will join you on that challenge.
Oh, come on! We'll sell it like a whole section of everyone trying this. We should need to go on like a Tuesday when the hot dogs are cheapest.
Yeah.
It's one where it's. I think I'm going to want to have a beer, put down a bunch of like 3 hot dogs, then maybe get a couple more beers down.
It's in the planning.
I need to get it done. Like I want to have like 5 of each done through like 4 or 3 or 4 innings. So then the rest of the time I could pace myself a little bit more. But then I feel like I might just get full.
Did you ever end up getting LTE into Costco?
We haven't taken him to Costco yet. I do have to go for a run very soon. Maybe I don't think he'll come.
That's crazy.
That's just
Wait, has he never been to Costco?
He's been like long ago, but now he doesn't go because he doesn't have a card. Now he's too scared to go if somebody else because he feels like he's gonna
So
get
are
like
you guys
kicked
trying
out.
to get him to try the hot dogs then, or
I just want to get him to Costco. He doesn't have to eat the hot dogs. He eat the samples.
Costco
A bunch of free
poutine?
samples all over the place.
Costco poutine.
Yeah, Costco poutine is
Greatest
legit.
thing you'll ever eat.
Yeah, it's
Never had it,
legit, and
actually.
their price point on food and beverage
It's
there
cheap.
is on point.
I remember
The poutine is great.
listening to that live. Bryce and me we were on our way to Montana, and just laughing hysterically. That was funny. Him asking about Costco jail. that was funny.
I want to say something. Sean's in Nasty Chat says we need an EST Shell tournament. I'd be up for that.
That I'd have to get Trev on board with.
I've been trying to get him on board
Because
for a year.
We'd have to create
This,
that. I don't
this
even know how
guy's
to
been
set
avoiding
that
my
up.
challenge.
Yeah, he
I challenged him like last year.
self-proclaimed legend, is he not?
I played one of those at the Pint a couple years back.
He said he's like one of the best in the city. This
In the world. He was top
doubt
100 in the
it,
world.
doubt it. I'd
Wow,
kill that
Trev
guy.
getting called out right now.
I'd kill that guy in a game of shell.
Whoa.
Oh, throw
Your game,
down.
your system of choice, does it matter?
It's
Or
pretty
is
much
when you're
the same.
online, it's all the same?
Cross-platform now,
It's
yeah.
cross-platform?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Maybe that is what I'm not doing that for 2025. I've got a few other things. Maybe one day we will have to try to though find because that's you get a few TVs, you go to a venue.
I
set
could
up
bring
some
in my
TVs.
PS5.
We're talking about a bigger Chell tournament. Your one PS5 is not going to be enough for a
Yeah,
Chell
no,
tournament.
it would be. If we
How
could
many
do,
people
we
are
do
going to be in the
offline
Chell
play.
tournament?
I don't know. We could do what 10 people.
That's too
10
small.
Bigger
people.
than that.
That's too small.
Yeah, so I run
You
tournaments.
think you're so great,
I
and then
run these
Trev
things-
thinks he's great, and then we got Benny on Hello Hockey, who's actually supposed to be really great.
I run-
right there, we've got three. Zach will probably want to be in. We're at 4.
So I run these things. What
Automatic win playing Zach.
I run
Ice
these
Coop.
every single weekend, and what we do, we don't just do a tournament. We do a draft. So we take teams, draft them, just take players from the NHL, and it's legitimate super teams, and we just go against. Usually we do like 4, and yeah, no, we were up till 1 a.m. last weekend. 8 till 1. Yeah, those drafts get hectic. But no, I crushed. I think it was my uncle. 8 to 1. He quit in the second period. 16, like it was 60 minutes left. In
I
the
don't know how
second,
good
he
your
quit.
uncle is. I don't know how good your uncle is.
Nice.
Yeah, old guys usually aren't very good at
Well, that's the
video games.
thing.
Trap.
So then you can't be bragging right now that you could be Trev.
I don't know.
Oh,
Others
I can
couldn't
be
beat
Trevor.
Anaheim.
I'm a bona fide online player.
What are you ranked in the world right now?
I don't check my rank because I'm too good for that.
That sounds like a cop out to me.
I play hut, then like I just have a really good team and win.
I don't know what hut is.
Hockey Ultimate Team.
man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is how much I still play. You you play?
Not
Or-
anymore.
Not
I used
anymore.
to.
No, I do want to say one thing. NHL 25 sucks this year. The gameplay just sucks.
Actually, I've heard that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So what they did is they slowed it down by like a mile.
I think it was Trev that told me it was through Benny. They apparently changed it to try to allow other people to like get a little better at it to make it not as hard. But now it's like it's brought everyone together that like the actual best players in the world
Yeah.
aren't that much better than everyone else
Yeah.
because of the gameplay is
parity.
ruining that and stuff. So they've created parity in Chell.
What EA said is they said it helps people make moves while like on a breakaway and like play defense better, but like you're not playing defense better. They changed the hitting. So you aim a dude, you hit him, and it's like, oh wait, no, you didn't actually hit him because you're this far away from him. It's like, no, this game makes no sense. So I don't know, but they've screwed it up. They've screwed up the game, and it's
That's what
annoying.
turned me off. Was it the game? It never seemed to evolve. You know, what's
to go
the
back.
greatest EA hockey game?
NHL 14.
NHL 14.
Was
Yeah.
it?
I think there's probably
Tons of
different
modes.
opinions on whoever you talk to on that.
But yeah, like so that's 11 years ago,
Yeah.
right? And you see the advancements in the gaming on the first person shooters but the game hockey has remained the same since 1994.
They changed graphics and they changed skating, and that's it. That's all they changed.
To me, what matters, it's like I bought it every year just for the new roster.
Yeah, me
The
too.
game was the
Exactly,
same.
yeah.
I just want the new roster, and then it got to a point where I'm done with this. The best Maddens were the mid 2000s. 04, 05, 06 in that range would be the best ones. And then there's a point, like there were some big changes but then after a while it was like there were no changes. And you're like, okay, cool.
That's what.
Or they take something away and put it back in the next year and like, oh, okay, awesome.
We changed.
Thanks for that. To Rip City Step, I'm not avoiding the rematch at Remax talk. Bring it on. I will beat Trev. I will beat Zach. I will beat Lieutenant Eric in the race again. I'm not worried about it. I won it the first time. I will
Fair
win
and
it again.
square. You'll beat him.
I will beat it's not, there's no sweat for it. I could talk. You want to talk about it, Rip City? I'll talk about it right now. I'm going to go win again. It's just that simple. I got the sauerkraut still in my office. I got the jar of sauerkraut. I will bring that to the game and I will win it and I will take it home and then I will open it and eat it because I will be the definitive champion. You happy, Rip?
All Maddie does is win.
Thank you.
and
Mic drop.
Thank you.
YTT in the Nasties chat said, "Jordy, I'm scared." Oh God.
Yeah,
And-
VR also said, YTT, please spank this lad.
And Big Uke said, "Blaming game mechanics just to get better." I'm not blaming the game mechanics. I'm just saying the game sucks. I'm good at the game as it is. I'm just saying it sucks. It's everybody else that are like even when we do tournaments at my house, we're just playing 23 because these guys don't want to play the new game because they're too scared.
Do you win every tournament?
Yeah.
There's a little hesitation there.
If it's on 25, yeah.
I might have
It's
to
on
come out of
23.
retirement to beat Jordy here.
I doubt it.
Well, you're putting out some big words right now. You know,
I'll win.
like,
I'll win.
that's-
I promise everybody that I'll
Bring
win.
it.
Need to get to Road Warriors, brought to you by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing of heavy haul trailers for mining, oil and gas equipment, highway transportation, quality, innovation, integrity, trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport
go.
industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your
And the
large load.
rebound.
AccuSteel.ca. I recovered there. Oilers, as we said, they're home to the road team, the Utah Hockey Club. Right now, the Bruins on the road in Washington take on the Capitals, 1-0. Bruins scoring an early goal in that one. Who scored in that one? Can I quickly find this here? Why can't I quickly find this here? They scored a minute 21 in. We've got the Islanders and Leafs played 11 today. That's an early game. Islanders Leafs coming up in a little bit. Canadians in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. Oh, imagine being Montreal. You're in Vegas for New Year's.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice little road trip.
Lucky.
Blues taking on the Blackhawks. Anything? Jets, Avs tonight. That should be a fun one later tonight. Canucks, Flames. We do got college football today.
Wait, Blues Blackhawks is Winter Classic.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Michigan?
Alabama trails Michigan 16-0
I'm a Michigan fan.
in the first quarter.
16 or 16?
16 nothing. Wow.
go
I was
Blue,
not
baby.
expecting that.
Go Blue, baby.
We do got the playoffs quarterfinal today. Penn State, Boise State. Tomorrow, Texas, Arizona State, Ohio State, Oregon. That one in the Rose Bowl, and then Notre Dame, Georgia. So we're loaded with college football over the next few days. And then obviously Canada, USA today, World Juniors. That's going to be a fun one.
You said Chicago, St. Louis. Isn't that the Winter Classic?
Yeah, the outdoor
I
game.
know. I just went through the games. I didn't know.
It's the outdoor game today.
Yeah.
So when is that? I forgot. Ran by the times. St. Louis. That's at 3:00.
NHL Winter Classic. Watch out.
Winter Classic at Wrigley Field.
That's going to be a good
Because
game.
if there's one thing we haven't seen at the Winter Classic, it's the Chicago Blackhawks. So I'm glad that they got
And
there
the
too.
St. Louis Blues.
Have they played Winter Classic though before?
Multiple.
Have they?
Like,
Shows how much I care about the
I
Winter
think
Classic.
they played
Yeah,
against the Blackhawks
I couldn't tell
in
you.
St. Louis.
I couldn't watch another Winter Classic.
They just have way too many.
One that I can't wait for is
Taking
Detroit
the nostalgic
Columbus.
out.
I can't wait for the Stadium Series, Detroit Columbus.
Blues are going in their third. The Bruins are in 4. Blackhawks are going to hit their 5th. The Blackhawks have never won a Winter Classic. They're 0-4.
How?
The Sabres are 0-2. Naturally, they're the Sabres. The Flyers are 0-2. Wild, Preds, and Golden Knights are all 0-1, so I can't do much on that one. But the Blackhawks are 0-4 in the Winter Classic. Potential future
And
Saints.
not looking good for 1-4. playing St. Louis.
Yeah, that might be
How many
0-5 here.
goals does Holloway and Broberg get in that game?
20.
I know Broberg. He was on a real hot streak, and since he's been hurt, he hasn't.
Oh yeah,
He
he's
had
lost a step.
Yeah, hasn't
Knees
played
will do
much,
that.
and statistically wise, had 0 points in like 10 games. But I picked him up in fantasy at the start of the year when he was on at a point per game pace, but really dropped off lately.
So do we think Bedard's just experiencing the sophomore slump, or will he never be the same from the hit
The hit? Am I missing?
when he broke his jaw? I feel when he came back, he wasn't the same player, and he certainly doesn't look to be a shadow of himself this year. He is a smallish type player, hands and feet to match the brain, but I think the fear has been etched in his jaw.
I'll give it the sophomore slump.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to write off Bedard in any way,
And
shape, or form.
he's gone not playing. Like his wingers are not good. I remember a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, people were comparing him to Celebrini on one of the podcasts I listened to. And they were talking about who he was playing with. It was Bertuzzi,
Yeah.
and it
30
wasn't
goal scorer.
Formerly. And I think they said Pat Maroon, maybe. It wasn't Hall, it wasn't Teravainen.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing with great players.
That's what makes me think that the fear is in his head. No, I want you to put Maroon on my line so no one beats me up.
Yeah.
That's one of the most welcome things with McDavid is the edge you see him play with today. He doesn't get pushed around, and while I think that physicality will go a long way in improving the Oilers' fortunes, Connor's got no fear, and I love to see it.
Any of you guys do resolutions? Do you guys do any of those type of things?
No.
A little bit, yeah.
You got a resolution for next year?
Start going to the gym more. I need that. Just kind of buckle down, start eating healthy and stuff. And
You have a school gym?
technically, there is one in our school, but I don't think we're allowed to use it outside of school time. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
No, I just got a gym membership at the Edmonton, the leisure centers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey,
Not bad.
good for you.
I'm gonna continue crushing beers and darts until I die.
One of my best resolutions ever was to drink more, and I accomplished it, and it was a wonderful year. So I respect that.
Shout out to my wife. God bless you, babe. Thanks for putting up with me.
Well, and you get that brisket later on.
Yeah.
It's that's
My wife's a Red Seal chef, and she's forgotten more about cooking than I'll ever know.
really?
Yeah. She's a fantastic feeder of our family. Both my daughters eat everything that she puts on a plate, and I can't say as I blames them.
I used to be the pickiest eater. Now I'm so glad I'm not anymore because food is delicious. And there's so many good foods out there. I don't know how Dusty lives.
I know. It,
don't know how he
it
lives.
pains me. Oftentimes it pains me, and I hope as our relationship grows that we can expand his palate. I don't think pickled herring's a good start to that expansion.
No, but it's more of a punishment. No, but the question is, does he have to eat the pickled herring? I think I don't know what Hernan's talking about. Hernan, yesterday on EST Afternoons, is giving Dusty a pass.
Yeah.
But we can't do this to that guy. We got 11,000 subs, dude.
Come on.
Yeah, it was his throwdown, was it not?
Exactly. I don't care. Why are we trying to protect Dustin Nielsen here?
And if we're getting into the minutia, it was 12:01:13.
We don't know what, but I'll say this. It happened before Hawaii ended Christmas. Christmas wasn't over in this world.
Yeah.
So
I don't envy him for having to eat pickle herring, but you got to put your big boy pants on and you throw down
it
a
up.
challenge
I stand by at least maybe not a full piece, but he's got to have a bite of it
and a good
swallow
bite.
it down. A good, as I say to my nieces or my parents say to my nieces, a shark
Shark
bite.
bites.
Like have a big shark bite. Like we're gonna have to that big bite there, Dusty. We'll cut it even for him, and he has to eat it. But I think he has to.
Feed him with a spoon. Here comes the airplane.
No comment.
Otherwise, what if people might start subbing to us?
Yeah,
They might go, what was my subscription for? Why did I sub to this? Why don't you eat? So I'm going to unsub. We can't risk that for the business.
No, and on the business, I want to thank you and Dustin, LTE, and everyone. A huge part of my life and my heart was vacated that dark day. And
June 14th, 2023.
I remember exactly where it was.
you guys have blown my expectations out of the water. And every day I carry a headset and I listen to you guys religiously. It drives my wife and children insane. But it's a small price to pay for the joy that you guys bring me every day. And the nasty chat, I live for you guys.
The
Thanks for
nasties
the
are
laughs.
amazing. That's why today was a nice little nasty the New Year's.
I'm with you, X-Ray. I don't know. I remember exactly where I was that day. I was actually on a school field trip, and Uncle Beefneck, because my dad was somehow, some way, my dad's volunteering on that. Beefneck texts, hey, EST or 1260's down. It's like, whoa. Listen to it. I'm like, the hell is this? I had nightmares for a few days. I will say that.
Yeah, it just
It
went
it did not feel good. And then hearing the announcement of Edmonton Sports Talk. I remember the first show. I was up at 5:30 a.m. waiting, counting down the seconds. I carry around my AirPods at all times, listening to EST. You carry around a headset. I even when I'm at school. Sorry to my LA teacher, but I am listening to EST afternoons with Hernan and Gager.
He's not. Don't worry. Don't check for those AirPods.
I'm watching the live stream too. No, it's
launching that school data.
Wi-Fi. I'm taking it all up. No, I love Edmonton Sports Talk, and it's great that you guys have brought this. Even brought like the Nasties, an award show. This has never been seen before.
There's my one resolution is to make it out to more EST events because you guys knock it out of the park every time, and it's always just a blast.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what these two guys say on you guys bringing it back. It's a huge thing in my whole family's life. I get my love of sports radio from Norm, obviously, and I think it's developed in my Bryce for sure, and Brody listens, and even Sticky Rice now. She's she loves it. She's
on board.
She's in the nasty chat. She loves going to the events. We very rarely miss a watch party for the pre and post of the oil stream games. That's usually or we go to that sometimes the casinos and obviously the SDs and everything, which was fantastic. And I've said I was going to do this. Sticky Rice was on the Hangout for a brief moment and clarified that she was the top of the Combine crew. She is not the top of the Combine crew. Just wanted to clarify that. That was an argument.
I think Norm's got that crown.
That was an argument in the household for a while. So she is not the top of the Combine crew. I'd go Norm, Garyn, Bryce, Sticky Rice, and Brody in that order. Setting it down.
It's in stone.
It's in stone.
It was set on air. Unless somebody else, one of them, come on and try to change that. That's how the Combine crew order is going to be right now.
Where was EST and Sticky Rice's Spotify account? My EST was rated at the top, tippy top.
I don't think
For the Unwrapped?
Sticky Rice uses Spotify. Strictly YouTube.
I would say I would have EST there, but I rewatch all the stuff. I don't listen. So mine was it was the Bar Down podcast from TSN. Love those guys, but Hangout was the second on my list.
Oh, nice.
Even though I religiously listen on YouTube, still up there.
Sweet. Well, really appreciate it. And I honestly, thanks you guys for coming in today.
It was a pleasure.
anytime.
This was a
Loved it.
fun hangout. This was I really enjoyed today. Again, it was the nasty New Year, so maybe I'll have to make that a tradition every year on New Year's.
A lot of
Just
fun.
I'm in.
a bunch of nasties and stuff coming in. X-Ray J, Jordy, Garyn from the Combine crew. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank
to
you so
everyone for
much.
tuning into the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. In a few minutes, it's myself, Jake Bola-Moss. We've got the Lock Shop. We've got two guys in a goalie later today. EST afternoons, Reed Wilkins show, Oil Stream pre and post game show. All still to to come here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Like I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.